Hi, welcome to the Power for Good podcast. I'm your host, Christina Rae Almeida, entrepreneur, environmental advocate, somatic healer, life coach, and really just a grateful part of this beautiful planet. I'm also a former alcoholic and addict, and I'm here to ask some really hard questions while diving deep and discovering how influential people are using their power for good or not. What happens when someone goes through an awakening? Can people really change? How? And why? Let's explore. Hey everybody. So today I'm going to be talking about sobriety. And what does sobriety really mean to me? Which is something I've been thinking about literally since I started my sober journey. But only recently I've been really thinking about the definition and how strange it is. Everyone has their own definition of sobriety, and everyone tells you what it means and what you're supposed to do and how it's supposed to look in your life. Everyone has an opinion. So what does sobriety mean to me? Obviously, first thing I did, I went to Google and I'm like, what does it officially mean? Merriam-Webster's definition of sobriety is really interesting because obviously it includes the usual, which is not intoxicated, not drinking, abstaining from alcohol and drugs. But also, what I found interesting is that it's sedated character, it's seriousness and subdued in tone and color. And this really got me thinking because why is it that someone might think that we get sober and then we become serious? And we get sober and we actually become less colorful in some way. In my experience, it has been quite the opposite. But then it made sense to me. If you're thinking that sobriety is the ultimate goal, that's the end, then maybe it is serious. Then maybe you are a serious person just in your sobriety. And maybe it is dull, colorless even, if there's nothing more. If that's where the journey ends, then it might be quite pale. But that is not what I believe. I believe sobriety is simply the first step. It's only the very beginning of a very long journey that actually may never end. And you may never want it to end because every turn and every little pivot, it gets more exciting and it gets easier. So yes, sobriety is removing something from your life, abstaining from alcohol and drugs, but it's also the beginning of a beautiful journey. And it's the first step. It's the moment when you finally get to reconnect to yourself wholly and honestly. You get to look at yourself, your life, and face all that has been numbed and repressed for so long by the drinking or the drugs. And yes, also by the conditions of the world, the conditions of your life. But it's a coming home to you, a coming home to your humanity, a reconnecting. And is that so bad? Is that serious? Is it so bad to feel? I don't really understand why we in our society have gotten this idea in our head that it's not okay to feel. You feel sad? Oh, here's a pill. Why? The human experience is about feeling. That is the gift. It's about experiencing the good, the bad, all of it. Maybe you will be coming home to face trauma. And this makes me actually emotional. I don't know why, because it's so beautiful. And yeah, you may be coming home to face trauma or sadness, but you're also opening the doors to love and to happiness. And that's why I feel so passionate about this because I know what it feels like to numb yourself and to not feel. And I know what it feels like to come home to those feelings and to be able to experience again. The lows of life are what make the highs possible. When you're sitting in the darkness and you light a candle, it shines so much brighter. You must experience the darkness too, though. The darkness can be beautiful. The light can be beautiful. All of it. That's the human experience. I'll say it again, that is the gift. We don't want pills to numb that. We don't want an easy fix for it. That's the conditioning. That's what society is trying to teach us now, is that It's not okay to feel your humanness is not okay. There's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are perfect. When I first got sober, I did feel like shit. I felt so scared. I remember going into rehab feeling so scared, feeling like a failure. I also felt numb. I felt sad. But at the same time, there was a flicker of something real and a little excitement, even if it's just a spark of humanness returning, a spark of me, a little me. And when I was in rehab, I began to paint. I'm like, what do I do with myself? Like, I'd been partying for, to occupy my time, or I was hungover. And so I'm in rehab. I'm like, okay, I'm going to paint. And so I started painting, and I felt so much beauty pouring out of me, even if it was painful. It was a painful beauty. And it was like just reconnecting to my femininity, reconnecting to my creativity. And I took nature walks. And I remember just sitting by the lake where this rehab facility was, and just sitting without my phone, without anything, just connecting to the water, connecting to the birds and the animals, and actually just getting bored, like the feeling of boredom. Why is boredom not okay? We literally don't know what to do with ourselves in boredom. So we drink, so we, you know, take a pill, so we do drugs, so we hang out with people. But like, we have gotten used to just filling our time, filling our days with so many things that we don't know what to do in boredom. But boredom is actually okay. It's okay to feel bored. But this humanness, this primal little spark within me started to awaken again. And it felt really good. But around that, there was a lot of pain. And at first, I felt like I wanted to reject it. But the more I just sat with the uncomfortable feeling, the more I just let it pass through me, the more it actually just went away. And then I left rehab and I came out and I started AA. I was looking for community. I was looking for, like, how do I continue this? I had an amazing experience in rehab where I actually did over 4 hours of therapy every single day. Which, another side note, I just think rehab actually has a bad stigma. It's like everybody should do rehab. Literally, the world would be a better place. Let me just say that. So I come out and I'm looking for community. I'm looking at how do I continue, this nourishing life. And I go to AA, and again, I find them telling me what my life means now as a sober person. Okay, so you're not going to have fun anymore. You're sick, and this is what the rest of your life's going to look like. So, more definitions of this is what it means to be sober, and this is what you got to do. You have to do these 90 meetings, 90 days, or else you're going to fail, because that's what happened to me. And this is the way it is. And these are the rules, and you got to work the steps. And I'm like, part of me was like, okay, I guess, there was just some guilt there. And then the other part of me was like, fuck no. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't even like these people. Like, I don't know. I don't want, this sucks. Like, that's just what I felt like. This sucks. But part of me was like, okay, like, I guess you are sick. Like, this is the way it has to go. There's no other options. And so I went for a little bit and tried to play on, but then I felt so much guilt and so much shame and so much other negative emotions that I'm like, this is not why I got sober. This is not how I'm going to define sobriety. So I started to pave my own way. And I decided I'm not going to let others continue to define my life and define what sobriety means for me. Why do we let others continue to define things for us? Why do we let others define what it means to live, what it means to be in this body? Why do we continue to live by everyone else's rules? Society says, welcome to the matrix. Wake up, eat, poop, go to work, drink, sleep, repeat, in whatever order that may be for you. But why? Why do we have to do those? Like, we are humans. We're animals. We're primitive beings. Society also says, you have a problem? Oh, here's a pill. You're sad? Oh, here's a pill. There's nothing wrong with the matrix. There's nothing wrong with this system that we have going, the hamster wheel. There's actually something wrong with you because you're sad. It's not the fact that you're waking up, that you're eating and going straight to work, and that you actually have nothing pleasurable in your life because you have no time. It's actually just you because you can't handle it. So take a pill, get the fuck over it, and get back on the fucking hamster wheel. That is not okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Maybe you're just not meant to be on that hamster wheel. Maybe you want to be creative. And I know creativity, maybe stepping off the hamster wheel, it's a luxury, it's a privilege. But we can't continue to live by everyone else's rules. So we at least have to question it. And to that same effect, society says, we drink and that's okay. And if you can't handle it, there's something wrong with you. You're an alcoholic and you have a disease. Alcohol is a carcinogenic neurotoxic chemical. It's just tied to at least 7 cancers, loss of gray matter, and a shortened lifespan. It's the number 1 date rape drug. And there's something wrong with me because I can't drink it. Well, maybe there's something wrong with you because you're continuing to sell it and make money off of people dying, make money off people getting cancer. Maybe there's something wrong with you because you don't want to see the truth. But we all have our own paths. And I'm not judging anyone for continuing to drink. I'm not judging you for drinking. I'm not judging myself. I drank for many years and I'm grateful that I did it. It was part of my path. But we can't allow anyone to continue to run our lives, set rules for us. And I no longer wish to live by others' definitions. And today that starts with redefining what sobriety means. Yes, I've stopped drinking and doing drugs, but what else? I've infused my life with color by awakening my primal self, bit by bit, releasing the conditioning, the rules, the definitions. It's just an ongoing state of mind. It's a presence, it's a being. You could literally be continuing to do the same thing and just change the way that you see things, and it would change everything. They told me that I would have to fight every day to stay sober. Well, that's not my truth. I'm not fighting. I thrive daily. And working and growing and loving every day of my colorful, sober life as I get to know myself and release the wild that is me. Remembering and releasing her in all her humanness and all her glory. And my mission now is to guide others to see the same truth and to allow others to not my path and not even to my truth, but instead to their own truth and to their own wild and beautiful definitions of life. Because nobody should define your life for you. Nobody needs to set rules for you. That's it. You make the rules for your own life. You are your own creator. You get to shift everything with just the way that you see things. Speak your truth, live your truth. That's my little spiel for today on sobriety. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Christina Rae, and you've been listening to the Power for Good podcast. If you haven't yet, go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. And join me next week for another powerful conversation. Share a story of how you are using your power for good by sending me a DM on my Instagram at Christina Rae Almeida. I'll be sharing your stories at the end of every episode weekly. If you're interested in learning more on how we can work together, head to my website, IamChristinaRae.com, and let's connect. Sending you so much love. And remember, you are powerful.